Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Hisyam. I am from Group 1. Now, our group going to present about introduction to e-commerce. My part is I'm going to present about what is e-commerce. Let's get started about what is the definition of e-commerce. First of all, we can see here is e. E here is referring to the electronic, while commerce is referring to buying or selling of goods, service or product. So we can say that the definition of e-commerce is buying or selling of goods, service or product over the internet. Okay, let's move forward. E-commerce versus e-business. Before I studying this e-commerce subject, I actually think that e-commerce is I think that e-commerce is the same with e-business. Meanwhile, technically the e-commerce is different with e-business. Okay, why is different? What is make e-commerce different of e-business? Okay, first we must know what is e-business. E-business is referring to all business activity that over the internet. What is the business activity? Okay, e-commerce is one of the business activity that over the internet. So we can say that e-commerce is the subset of e-business. There are many more business activity such as telecommunicating, electronic payment, digital marketing, electronic billing, and many more e-business activity. Okay, in e-commerce, the transactions are limited, and while in e-business, the transactions are not limited. Also, in e-commerce, they usually use the website, and in e-business, they usually use multiple website ERP, and they combine the process. Okay, and in e-commerce, they usually use the internet. Meanwhile, in e-business, they usually use internet, extranet, intranet. And in e-commerce, they use B2C context, which is business to customer. And in e-business, they usually use B2B, which is business to business context. Okay, let's move forward about what is the technology building block underlying e-commerce. What is the technology? Of course, like what I said just now, which is internet. Internet is very important in e-commerce. No internet, no transaction. Okay, and then what is the next technology is used, which is World Wide Web. Here is World Wide Web is the very famous. I could say that almost all e-commerce platform they use World Wide Web, which is www, and then which is the almost all famous or popular e-commerce they provide mobile platform, mobile application in either in iOS or Android. They usually provide both platform. Okay, so we can in example Shopee, Lazada, Amazon, Alibaba, eBay, and many more platform that already provide the mobile platform, because mobile platform is very handy, is all on our fingertips. We can buy anything. Very easy to use. Very human. Thank you. That's all from me.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Adib Jamaluddin. Metric number 1915889. So today I will describe the unique features and type of e-commerce. So first we go into the 8 unique features of e-commerce technology. So there are 8 altogether. Those are ubiquity, global reach, universal standards, information richness, information density, personalization and customization, interactivity and social technology. So firstly, ubiquity. Ubiquity meaning that it is available just everywhere at all times. So In traditional commerce, that is a physical place where people carry out the buy and sell activities. It is also known as marketplace. So when it comes to e-commerce, the market are now not restricted to a physical space and make it possible to shop from your desktop from home or at work, and even from your car using mobile e-commerce. So this resulting in the rise of market space, which is a place where it is beyond traditional boundaries and removed from a temporal and geographic location. So ubiquity also reduce transaction cost, which is the cost of participating in a market. It also lowers the cognitive energy, which is the mental effort required to complete a task. So next is global reach. Global reach meaning that the technology reaches across national boundaries, and unlike the traditional commerce. So in traditional commerce, it's only involve local merchants or national merchants with local outlets. Moreover, internet makes it much easier for startup online merchants within a single country to achieve a national audience than was ever possible in the past. So this traditional commerce do not easily cross national boundaries to a global audience, unlike the e-commerce technology. Next is universal standards. Universal standards are the standards that are shared by all nations around the world, unlike the traditional commerce that differ from one nation to another. So the universal technical standards greatly lower market entry costs, which is the cost merchants must pay to bring their goods into market. It is also reduce search cost, which is meaning the effort required to find suitable product. So with e-commerce technology, it is possible to find many suppliers, price and delivery terms of a specific product anywhere in the world, and to view them in a coherent comparative environment. Next is information richness. Information richness refers to the complexity and content of message. Traditional commerce have great richness. They are able to provide personal, face-to-face service using oral and visual cues when making sale. So, however, the internet has the potential of offering considerably more information richness, such as printing presses, radio, and television. Why? Because it is interactive and can adjust the message to individual users. So the richness enabled by the internet allows retail and service merchants to market and sell complex goods and services that are required a face-to-face presentation by sales force to a much larger audience. So next is information density. So information density here refers to the total amount of quality of information. Information processing, storage, and communication costs drop dramatically, while currency, accuracy, and timeliness improve greatly. So as a result, price and cost become more transparent, where consumers can find out the variety of price in a market. So consumers also can find out the actual cost merchants pay for a specific product. So moving on to the personalization customization. Uh, in e-commerce technologies, permits personalization as merchants can target their marketing messages to specific individuals by adjusting the message to a person's name, interest, and past purchase. While customization is changing the delivered product or service based on user preferences or prior behavior. So these two features allow firms to precisely identify market segment and adjust their messages accordingly. Next is interactivity. Interactivity meaning that they enable two-way communication, so between the merchant and the consumer. So interactivity here allows an online merchant to engage customer in ways similar to a face-to-face experience. So unlike the traditional commerce, like on television, where uh, they cannot ask viewers question or bring them into a conversation. And last but not least is social technology. Social technology here meaning that e-commerce technologies that allow users to create and share content with a worldwide community. So the internet and e-commerce technology now have the potential to invert the standard media model by giving users to program their own content consumption. So that is all for the 8 unique features of e-commerce. Now we move to the type of e-commerce. So here we have 6 type of e-commerce. So those are business to consumer (B2C), business to business (B2B), consumer to consumer (C2C), mobile e-commerce (M-commerce), social e-commerce, and the last one is a local e-commerce. So firstly, we go into business to consumer. So business to consumer here is a online business. It's an attempt to reach individual consumers. So it includes purchases of retail goods, travel services, and online content. So this type of e-commerce is the most consumers are likely to encounter. So next is business to business. Business to business is where a business focus on selling to other business. So this one is the largest form of e-commerce, and also it includes e-distributor, e-procurement companies, exchanges and industry consortia, and private industrial networks. Moving on to consumer. Uh, So this is a type of e-commerce where it provides a way for consumers to sell to each other. So this in this consumer to consumer e-commerce, the consumer prepares the product for market, places the product for auction for sale, and relies on the market marker to provide catalog, search engine, and transaction clearing capabilities so that the product can be easily displayed, discovered, and paid for. So other than that is mobile e-commerce. So mobile e-commerce is also known as m-commerce. So here it refers to the use of a mobile device. So as it name mobile e-commerce, it is refers to the use of mobile devices to enable online transaction. So this involve the use of cellular and wireless networks to connect. Uh, so these involve the user of cellular and wireless networks to connect laptop, smartphone, and tablet computer to the internet. So once it is connected, mobile consumers can conduct transactions including stock trades, in-store price comparisons, banking, travel reservation, and many more. So other than that, we have social e-commerce. So here, social e-commerce here is enabled by social network and online social relationship. So the factor that drive the growth of this type of e-commerce includes increasing popularity of social sign-up, network notification, online collaboration, and social search. So finally is local e-commerce. So local e-commerce, just like its name, is local. It's a form of e-commerce that is focused on engaging the consumer based on their current geographic location. So as its name is it is local, so it only focus on consumer based current geographic location. So that's all for me for the unique features and type of e-commerce. I'll pass the presentation to the next presenter. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Yasmin Hana binti Zulkifli. I'm going to present about the social and society impact of e-commerce. The social impact of e-commerce can be measured by satisfaction and trust through these 7 factors. Firstly, it led to growth in digital industries. With more users on the web through telephony, it was expected that the country reach 243 million of internet users in June 2014, representing a growth of 28% over the previous year. This growth in the number of internet users led to growth in other digital industries such as e-commerce, mobile commerce, and digital advertising. Next, the government has made efforts in the education system through the implementation of computer tools and techniques, essential for all educational levels, from primary education to the end of studies. Students from urban and rural areas were also supplied with mobile devices such as personal computers, laptops, tablets, or laptops with the use of internet because of its advantages to improve lifestyle and provide electronic books and e-books to these students. The next impact is entrepreneurs are attracted to advanced computer technologies because of their usefulness for e-commerce. It has also raised great demand for electronic commerce and m-commerce in the market because of the development of educational standards at all levels. Next is changes in online shopping habits. The online shopping process is constantly being worked on to make it easier, more understandable, and easier to use. And lastly, social media such as Facebook, Pinterest, and Instagram allow consumers to organize their favorite articles and collection segments to share with others around the world. Therefore, society and groups of people or communities can be linked together to share their point of view and ideas. This gives personal expression in purchases and causes others to reflect on their purchase decision. Next, we will go through the impacts it has given to society. Firstly, is the ability to provide secure purchase transactions through the internet and together with the almost instantaneous verification and validation of credit card transactions. This significant impact has led to a greater number of customers to exploit various fields of electronic commerce for their benefits. There is also great national diversity in the adoption of electronic commerce, particularly in marketing and subsequent sales. Lastly, these digital solutions that replace traditional applications have offered many opportunities for businesses and individual consumers. That's all from me. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Syaqir Iman bin Muhammad Salleh, metric number 1813181. Today I will present Islam and e-commerce from perspective Islam and technology. Islam has arranged a sale and purchase transaction. The arrangement is included in Fiqh al-Mu'amalat. This study focuses more on the smooth running of business transaction and other commercial activity based on Islamic law. More specifically, whether the value contained in the e-commerce are in accordance with Islamic value such as honesty, convenience, contract, speed, cost, and others. E-commerce according to Islam is permissible. Although in e-commerce there are various kinds of benefit, there are also both problems that might arise in e-commerce, especially in uncertain that we call gharar. Namely, whether the item in the photo are in accordance with when received, then whether the good sent will actually be sent or minimal. Whilst e-commerce is spreading worldwide, many Muslims are wondering whether this new form of e-commerce is acceptable from the Sharia, from the Islamic law point of view. Issue on the legality of e-commerce in Islam are examined to expose to Muslims around the world so that they could benefit from this new technology if it is proved legal and acceptable in Islam. Regarding transaction, the issue of payment through credit card will be studied to clear the Muslim doubt on the Islamic prospect of e-commerce. Internet make the physical world seem borderless. With internet, people could communicate, gather various information, and doing business transaction in just a few clicks away. People could buy a commodity like product and digital product simply from the internet and get this product sent to their home or them online. This era is called the e-commerce era. A lot of conference and seminar will help pertaining to the e-commerce, but only a few brought matter about e-commerce in the Islamic perspective. The Prophet SAW said, Allah has prescribed certain obligation for you, so do not neglect them. He has defined certain limits, so do not transgress them. He has prohibited certain things, so do not do them. And he has kept silent concerning other things out of mercy for you and not because of forgetfulness, so do not ask questions concerning them. Referred by Al-Dukhani and classified by Hassan Al-Nawawi. Based on Islamic point of view, e-commerce has an understanding that is almost the same conventional trade. There are several rules in e-commerce that must be in accordance with the need of Islamic principle and permitted by Islam, as contained in the Quran, Surah Al-Jumu'ah, verse 10, which the meaning is, and when the prayer has been concluded, disperse within the land and seek from the bounty of Allah, and remember Allah often that you may succeed. Al-Jumu'ah, verse 10. In this verse, it is explained that Allah allows His servant to carry out any activity on earth as long as it does not conflict with Islam principle. So in principle, the use of e-commerce is permissible as long as it does not violate conflict with the Islamic principle. From this, there are many Muslims who still doubt e-commerce whether it is accordant with Islamic. For payment on e-commerce, the issue of payment on e-commerce is the most frequently debated. The problem is whether the payment method on e-commerce is accordant with Islam law. There are various types of payment in e-commerce transaction ranging from transfer, e-money, payment to e-commerce, on-site payment via credit card. The method of payment using the credit and debit card has been considered a significant problem because of the possibility of usury. This is due to unspecified cost and bank interest gain taken in late payment. Most Islamic jurists forbid the use of conventional credit card. It is assumed that using a credit card to complete payment in e-commerce is permissible or lawful, halal if the customer pays the bill before the due date. However, the issue of e-commerce is questionable when the customer only pay a minimum requirement of 15, where the issuing bank will charge 2% monthly interest rate on the remaining balance. In connection with the problem, there are agreed that there are still non-Islamic credit card system. It is recommended to use the Murabaha system. Okay, for Murabaha is defined as sale with the markup or cost plus profit sale. Murabaha is the sale of the product at the price at which the seller has brought it. With the addition of the profit, there are stated to be known by the both party, namely the buyer and seller. Murabaha is use of Islamic finance contract because it allows bank to use a vehicle of credit to finance buyer against predetermined profit without taking any risk. Therefore, in the e-commerce transaction, the Murabaha system can be used as an alternative method of payment to replace a credit card. Okay. The example of technology used in e-commerce that accordance with Islamic view is, the first one is artificial intelligence. We call AI. Personalized user experience that can recommendation to customer. Okay, the second one is chatbot. Chatbot can assist us 24 hour, can respond to queries. The third one is the send, shipping and tracking information. Okay, that's all for example. That's all from me. Thank you. Wabillahi taufiq wal hidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Assalamualaikum. I'm Nur Aisyah Syahirah binti Osman, and I will explain about my part, which is Islam and business. Islam and business is a buying and selling processes which influence and give benefit to others according Quran and Sunnah. So here there are 6 points for the Islam and business, which are trust, sincerity, payments, Islamic contract, justice, and truthfulness. So the first point is trust. Trust is important in having a business relationships and cooperation. It is because it creates a positive vibe in the business among the people. So in the Quran, from Surah Al-Anfal, verse 27, it means that all that believe betray not the trust of Allah and the Messenger, nor misappropriate knowingly things entrusted to you. So it shows that trust can be one of the amanah that give each other to be one of the responsible in business. So from this value, the business will run with the blessing of Allah. So moving to the second point, which is sincerity. In this value, it should be applied to ensure that the real purpose of the business. It should be explained and set first in our mind before starting the business. As we know, we cannot read the true intention of someone, but it turns back to the Islamic values that are implied according to the Quran and Sunnah. So, for example, the Prophet said in the relation to the sincerity, Allah does not look to your bodies, to your faces, but He looks to your hearts and deeds. Next, for the third point is payments. Payments in business means that Islamic finance or Sharia compliant finance that refer to the financial activities such as transaction and bank loan. So in business, this should be followed to avoid any problems happen such as scams, fraud, or riba happening in the business. So next point is Islamic contract. We know that there are 5 main in Islamic contract, which are Mudarabah, means profit and loss sharing. The second one is Musyarakah, joint venture. The third one is Murabaha, which means cost plus. The fourth is Ijarah, means leasing, and the last one is Salam. For the first, which Mudarabah, it means it's a contract between two parties. Next, Musyarakah. Musyarakah means that financial contract between two or many parties to establish a commercial enterprise. Next, for Murabaha, it's referred to a sale of a good or property with an agreed profit against a deferred or a lump sum payment. For the Ijarah, Ijarah is which two parties are involved. They're in the lessor and the leaser. And the last one is Salam, which is another contract where full payment for a good is paid in advance, but the delivery of the good is made at an agreed date. Okay, the next point is justice. Justice in business means that to treat people equally, because it is one of the duties we as a Muslims. So once we try to do justice or treat the people with a good thing, and Allah will reply to us with something good. So justice should be applied in a business to make sure everyone gets the benefits, good traits, and can create a bonding among people. As mentioned in Surah An-Nahl, verse 90, Allah commands justice, the doing of good, and liberality to kith and kin. So He forbids all shameful deeds and injustice and rebellion. He instructs you that may receive administration. Okay, so the last point for Islam and business is truthfulness. which is the basic value that should be implied in a business as said in the Quran. Or believers fear Allah and say the right thing. It is from Surah Al-Ahzab, verse 70. So in business, everyone should straightforwardly convey any good or bad business strategy. So both parties are truthful in dealing with any project, such as the policy or the condition of the project, to avoid any problem happening. So that's all from us. Thank you.